It's interesting because I think there's two very different challenges. On the one hand, there's the challenge of holding on to talent. So that whole area of talent management is extremely important, holding on to the best and the brightest because there's a lot of pressures in economies that are in recession. And the second major challenge is associated with change and restructuring is that it's done effectively by human resource management in cooperation with their CEOs. And that means they have to understand a knowledge base, but also work very effectively in a partnership model. So talent management and partnering with the CEO to restructure and enable change in organizations. One of the important things to remember is that a CEO wants people who understand change and who have lived through change, but they also want people who are credible both at a personal integrity perspective and also credible in terms of their knowledge of the business. So if they understand the business and they're credible and they've experienced change, then I think you have the basis for a very nice partnership. There's a number of steps or stages, not that they're necessarily linear, but they're important to think about. First of all, are people ready for change? Are you personally ready for change? Are you personally ready to lead change? And that goes for the HR, for the chief executive, and also employees. Then there's the issue of, do you have a vision? Are you able to tell people why it is that they should go to a different place, contextualize the change and make it real and meaningful to them? And beyond that, then you have to win hearts and minds, because there's no point in talking about winning the head and the heart. You have to start first with the heart. Heart and mind leads to mobilization and energy and engagement of employees. Then there's the difficult part of restructuring. Maybe it's restructuring roles, maybe it's opening up a new line of business, maybe it's redesigning the organization. All of that is really important. And lastly, an ongoing communication. The leadership of learning through the entire process is absolutely crucial. And that needs to be led not just by the HR director, but also by the chief executive working in partnership. One of the important understandings that we have now from research is that you can increase pressure on employees and they can work harder and produce more, but you also simultaneously have to show that you support them and to give them the resources and training that will enable them to do their work. I think people will rise to the challenge of increased productivity and generating new business, but you must resource them properly. If you do that, you get engagement. And in terms of re-engagement, the issue often is that when you restructure a business, there's a loss of trust, and you must repair that trust. So if you work actively and talk to people about their concerns and have a dialogue with them and come up with meaningful actions which they themselves sponsor, you will get re-engagement. So engagement and re-engagement are really two sides of the same coin. The first one I would say is listen. Listen very carefully to the people in the front line. They have the solutions, they know where the problems are, they know how to serve customers better, and they know how to make the change happen most effectively. Secondly, create a very strong partnership between you and the chief executive. That means understanding the business, being credible and having integrity. And sometimes standing up and saying, this is what I believe in, and accepting that that has to be a dialogue between them and the chief executive, a negotiated order of change in the company. And the third one I would say is never stop learning. The world is changing at too fast a pace, so you need to continuously reinvent yourself and re-educate yourself and re-engage employees, create a informed and questioning workforce. Those would be the 3 points. Across the entire world, we see a shift from production work to knowledge work and knowledge-based products. That means you have to develop the intellectual talent of employees and harness it. These people, they give you their engagement, they give you their commitment, they give you their knowledge. You don't take it from them, you can't force it from them. That means you have to focus in and create a situation where they really would like to work with you, really would like to help with you. That I see as the big picture future for HR. For two reasons. One is I was kindly invited by Casper and Isabel Sikora at Blue Business Media. That's of course the first interest, and it's always a privilege to be invited and speak to a high-level audience. I also visited Poland in 1990, so I was very curious to see what are the changes that have taken place. And of course the changes are massive. This is an entirely different, vibrant, well-developed society in industrial terms, very different to the type of country that I visited in 1990. So I'd say the Irish connection, because Isabel had worked in Ireland, the challenge of talking to HR directors, and thirdly, really very strong curiosity to see what had happened in Poland. I've been very honoured and very pleased to speak.